What makes a warrior legendary? Strength, skill, sheer or unstoppable will. Today we're ranking the top 10 deadliest warriors. This isn't just about brute strength or one-on-one combat. We're looking at total warfare, military conquest, strategic genius, tactical brilliance, psychological dominance, and leadership that could turn tides with a glance. These warriors didn't just survive history, they carved their names into it with blood and fire. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Tlahuicol, the Aztec warrior feared even by emperors. His massive weapon, the Macuahuitl, was so heavy only he could wield it. His superhuman strength let him slice through enemies like butter. Known for taking down dozens of enemies single-handedly, he famously refused freedom twice, insisting he only deserved to die in battle. His unmatched bravery made him a terrifying opponent, immortalized by legends of his final epic fight, taking down over 20 elite warriors before finally falling in ritual combat. At number 9, Richard the Lionheart, Europe's warrior king, who crushed armies 3 times larger than his own. Known for his mastery of the sword, lance, and even crossbow, Richard was feared across the Middle East during the Third Crusade. His iconic victory at Arsuf against Saladin's forces showcased his fearless leadership and brilliant tactics, proving size isn't everything. At the Battle of Arsuf in 1199, he led 12,000 men to crush Saladin's 40,000-strong army with fearless charges and cunning tactics. His name alone struck terror into his foes. Number 8, Xiahou Dun, the legendary one-eyed warrior from China's Three Kingdoms period, who famously tore out his own eye mid-battle after being shot by an arrow and kept fighting. At Guandu, his ambushes crippled enemy supply lines, securing victory for Cao Cao. His relentless courage made him a legend. His brutal tactics and terrifying battlefield presence secured countless victories, making him one of Cao Cao's deadliest commanders. Claiming our 7th spot is William Marshall, history's greatest knight, undefeated in over 500 duels. Marshall dominated tournaments, perfected the art of combat, and even at 70 years old, led England's armies to victory at the pivotal Battle of Lincoln. He lived and breathed chivalry, becoming the very essence of the medieval warrior. At number 6, Hannibal Barca, the military genius who terrorized Rome by leading 50,000 soldiers and war elephants across the Alps. His victory at Cannae, where he obliterated an army nearly double his size, is still studied as the ultimate battle strategy. Hannibal wasn't just defeating armies, he was crushing their spirits. At Cannae in 216 BC, his double envelopment tactic annihilated 86,000 Romans with just 50,000 men. His psychological warfare broke enemy morale, earning him the title Father of Strategy. At number 5, Spartacus, the gladiator who shook Rome. Imagine being enslaved, thrown into an arena, forced to kill or be killed. Spartacus didn't just survive, he became Rome's nightmare. Starting as a gladiator, he rose to lead history's largest slave rebellion, commanding an army of over 100,000 warriors. At Mount Vesuvius, Spartacus stunned Rome by scaling cliffs with vines, slaughtering thousands of Romans who thought him cornered. His brilliant guerrilla tactics and unmatched fighting skills terrified the empire's most powerful legions. Spartacus wasn't just deadly, he embodied the raw power of freedom. Rome might have crushed the revolt eventually, but Spartacus's legendary defiance lives on forever as the gladiator who dared to challenge the greatest empire. And in his final stand, he slew 2 centurions, cementing his legend as freedom's deadliest champion. 4th place belongs to Lu Bu, China's legendary flying general, known for his unmatched strength, agility, and martial prowess. Lu Bu was so fearsome, legends say he single-handedly fought off hundreds of enemies at once. His unparalleled martial prowess and agility in battle made him a nearly invincible fighter. Lu Bu's combat skills were practically inhuman. He mastered every weapon of his time, from horseback archery to hand-to-hand combat, wielding the Fangshan Ji, a halberd-like spear requiring supreme control. It was said he needed no weapons, his bare hands just as lethal. At Hulao Pass, he fought 3 elite warriors at once and won. but his reckless betrayals led to his downfall. At number 3, Lucius Siccius Dentatus, Rome's most decorated warrior. Fighting over 120 battles and surviving 45 severe wounds, Dentatus defeated countless enemy champions. Known as the Roman Achilles, his battlefield courage earned him 18 decorations, including Rome's highest military honor, the Corona Graminia, cementing his legacy as one of history's greatest soldiers. His bravery saved countless lives until political rivals assassinated him. At number 2, the man whose name became immortal before he turned 33, Alexander the Great, Macedon's undefeated conqueror. Wielding lance and sword, he fought in the front lines, crushing Persia's armies. At Gaugamela, his 47,000 men routed 100,000 with genius tactics. From Tyre's siege to India's elephants, his fearless charges built an empire, leaving enemies trembling. Born in 356 BC, Alexander wasn't just a king, he was a battlefield storm. Trained by Aristotle, tempered by war and driven by destiny, he led his army to conquer the largest empire the world had ever seen, from Greece to Egypt to the edges of India. But Alexander didn't lead from a throne, he led from the front. At the Battle of Granicus, he personally plunged into enemy lines, killing Persian nobles with his own sword. At Issus and Gaugamela, he shattered numerically superior forces through brilliant flanking maneuvers and unbreakable morale. He fought with his xiphos, a short Greek sword, and his legendary sarissa phalanx at his back, but it was his sheer will and fearlessness that made him a god among men. He was wounded multiple times, yet never retreated. Soldiers followed him not out of duty, but out of awe. His military record? Undefeated, his conquests. Over 20,000 miles marched, 70 cities founded. His psychological impact? Kingdoms surrendered at the sound of his name. Alexander wasn't just a commander, he was a living weapon, a tactician, a warrior, a legend carved into history by steel and fire. But for all his greatness, one warrior still stands above him. Few honorable mentions before we reveal number 1, Musashi Miyamoto, undefeated samurai, master of the dual blade technique, King Leonidas, Spartan hero, led 300 against thousands at Thermopylae. Ivar the Boneless, crippled Viking terror, conquered with cunning ferocity. Ashoka the Great, conqueror turned emperor of peace after Kalinga's horrors, each formidable but just missed the cut. Finally, at number 1, KHALID IBN AL-WALID, the Sword of Allah, the man who redefined the meaning of invincible. A master strategist and fearless fighter, Khalid wasn't born into greatness, he earned it blade by blade, battle by battle. Once an enemy of Islam, he became its most unstoppable champion. Undefeated in over 100 battles, his mobile cavalry crushed empires. His tactical genius crushed both Byzantine and Persian empires. Khalid didn't just fight wars, he calculated them. At Yarmouk, he led 30,000 warriors against a Byzantine force 3 times larger. They had the numbers, he had the mind. His mobile cavalry strikes, feints and ambushes didn't just win battles, they obliterated empires. At Walaja, his double envelopment tactic stunned the world, maneuvers that wouldn't be replicated until Hannibal. Another significant achievement was his conquest of Iraq during the Ridda Wars and campaigns against the Sassanid Empire. Not just a brilliant strategist, he was an exceptional fighter, matching the best on this list with outstanding bravery, adaptability, and a fast-paced Muslim fighting style. Khalid wasn't just a commander barking orders from a distance, he fought, he bled, he killed. His ability to inspire allies made fighting beside him an honor, but to fight against him a death sentence. He never lost a battle, not one. Over 100 victories against Byzantines, Persians, and Arabian rebels. And yet, he died not by the sword, but in bed. He once said, "I fought so many battles seeking martyrdom, and here I die on my bed like a camel." Even in death, Khalid was still dangerous to empires. So much so, Caliph Umar removed him from command, fearing his legend was growing larger than the caliphate itself. Khalid died on March 22nd, 642 AD, fearless, brilliant, and invincible. Khalid stands unmatched as history's deadliest warrior. That's our countdown of the deadliest warriors ever. Which warrior surprised you the most? Drop your pick below and smash that subscribe button to unlock more epic history countdowns every week. And hit the bell and join our growing army of history fans. We'll see you in the next epic showdown.